Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling, and this is our controversial take. There's a little speech bubble there. There's controversial takes in between us chatting. Controversial take. Controversial take. That's what the logo is. This is our series where we give or try and give an opinion that we think might be against the grain in a very safe space.
Yeah.
You're allowed to give your opinion because wrestling doesn't have to be tribal. You're allowed a difference of opinion. And it's okay.
No one seems to know.
No.
We need to get the word out.
Guys, have an opinion.
It's not that deep.
It's okay.
It's fine.
And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
We give our opinion, what is our viewpoint that we think might be a bit different, might go against the grain, might even just our own viewpoint, see if anyone agrees, see if you completely disagree. We want to know yours as well. So before we get into our controversial takes, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment what are your controversial takes that you think most people completely go against. And no, thinking CM Punk is rubbish is not a controversial take. So Sam, we'll kick off with yours this week. What is your controversial take?
So I got this on a note, so I just want to read it correctly. So that I get, there's a few little micro points within the point.
Okay, so hello, I'll introduce it for you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Story Time.
Yes.
With Baby Sam.
Yes.
Get into a nice comfy seat.
Yes.
Snuggle up and listen.
Let me read you a story.
Yes.
I don't particularly enjoy watching 80% of modern wrestling matches. I really don't.
Do you know what? I already understand what you mean.
You know what I mean? So they're too formulaic, over choreographed. They don't look like fights to me anymore. They're too soft, and not even mood-wise, just in terms of intensity. There's not enough viciousness or grit or storytelling in the matches, or jeopardy for that matter in terms of kickouts, because there's a bazillion of them now. I know wherever the match is on the card, there's going to be about 5 near falls. There's little to no storytelling, 1,000 super kicks, and really it's across the board. It's just ridiculous. They all go on for ages, so the first 10 minutes are barely ever worth watching because you know it's not going to end in the first 10 minutes. So why care?
Particularly on Raw and SmackDown.
Exactly, where there should be less than 10-minute matches. We have confused better athleticism with better quality wrestling matches, and it's not the same thing.
I agree.
That's it. End of the video. That's it.
So I absolutely. You could actually arguably fast forward through parts of a match and actually miss nothing. Like I'll give you an example. Like we've just been watching some old pay-per-views, like in between some filming, and one of the matches we watched. Last time we filmed, actually, we were watching No Mercy. I was actually going to talk about a different match. I'm going to talk about this match instead, actually, because my brain just went to this instead. We were watching No Mercy 2002, and we were watching the amazing tag team match between Angle and Benoit versus Edge and Rey Mysterio. And I'm looking at a very small spot. Angle's got him in a bear hug, and Rey tries to get out, and Rey just goes...
Yeah.
And then just stamps on Angle, and they got a little bit of character
Small,
over,
but not
and a little
small.
bit of detail. And your over choreographed is exactly what the reason I struggle with AEW more than anything is because it has become a little bit of here's this spot, here's this spot, here's this spot, no selling. And you go and watch older wrestling, and you realise that things are meant to hurt and meant to try and beat you. A flip, if you're trying to pop the crowd, you've missed the point. Your thing should pop the crowd because the crowd are invested. I should be able to do a DDT and the crowd should pop because I've built it to such an extent that people go, oh my God, they've done the DDT. You know, we watched that 2002 match, that tag team match we talked about. There was a missile drop kick and the crowd went mad for that near fall.
Yeah.
And that's
Beautiful.
the thing. If you on a previous lockbox we talked about finisher kickouts, this is in that.
Yeah.
If you build a match and the finisher is the finisher and you're trying to get to it, the crowd would be invested. But you're absolutely right. These over choreographed spots, everyone doing athletic. Don't get me wrong, because everyone is now all athletic, it's amazing to look at, but it defeats the purpose. And you realise that the people who are watching and the people who are backstage also know this, because if you look at all the people who are in the main event positions or who get the most time, don't do this. On WWE, but he's over super kicks.
That's what
he's not over choreographed.
No, I agree.
Look at Gunther, Roman Reigns, and all that lot. Cody Rhodes, none of them are over choreographed. They are finisher kickouts. That's a problem anyway. But in terms of the over choreographedness, you're absolutely right. If you are over choreographed in WWE, I don't think you make the top of the card for a long period of time. You might make the top of the card, but look at Ricochet, could not crack that, and there was a reason. He didn't have the character, and he may have a heel character, or whatever, but he didn't have the character to produce it because he was just about flips. AEW, though, if you have all these things, you can make the top of the card because they end up having 40 minutes to do it, and they do it 40 minutes long.
Exactly.
You know what, Sam? It is a controversial take that you could easily, not just you don't like 80%, you could skip
Yeah.
80%.
That's my thing.
You kind of make a very valid point. When we go back, we've been watching TNA recently on our reviews.
This is what triggered this.
And it really is. And we watched TNA, and TNA is 2 hours and 40 minutes. And don't get me wrong, it's back crack crazy. It's insane. It's, in fact, arguably terrible. But it's so much fun.
Never indifferent.
The matches are 12 minutes to 19 at very most. Even the cruiserweights that are fast paced and are kind of choreographed.
Psychology.
They're all, but they're also this is the X Division match where you might see that sort of spot and it becomes something different, kind of like the cruiserweights of WCW. Because the other matches are not going to do that. But the other matches had meaning, or they had things that they were doing around it. And you go, oh my God, wrestling in 2006 is exactly what we're looking for. Athleticism, stamina, but with the brain power of old school wrestling. I couldn't agree more. And do you know what, Sam? My controversial take arguably is not connected to it, but you're saying you don't want to watch 80% of wrestling. I'm going to throw out, I don't want to watch 33% of wrestling.
33%?
Yes, because my controversial take is I don't want to watch NXT.
Oh, I'm not interested in NXT.
No.
Personally.
No, here's the thing. I'm interested.
Okay.
I want to watch it. Okay? And let's get that clear.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's rubbish, because by the way, Sam,
I don't think it's rubbish.
It's just really, really good.
I have things to do.
The problems I have is, one, that's too much wrestling. If you want to watch AEW and WWE, I don't know how you can do it with Collision and Dynamite and then Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, especially if there's 2 pay-per-views at the same time. I don't know how you can do it. Like, literally, someone who goes, how do you find the time to do these filming? I'm like, we don't watch the wrestling. We don't watch the wrestling.
No.
But the reason I don't want to watch NXT is because I want the surprise of when they make the main roster. Because people go, I said it on a podcast a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago, and they said, well, yeah, but then you know who they are. And I went, yeah, but isn't that the point of the story of Raw and SmackDown, is to tell me who they are? If I just go and go, oh, this is this person, they're in this feud, this feud, this feud, this feud, that's not as special. I want them to debut on Raw and SmackDown and be like, oh my God, they have turned up. And I'm like, oh my God, why is this guy amazing? Well, it is. I generally don't want to watch NXT so that I have that feeling and connection when they do debut rather than I've already watched them for a year. So when they move, it's just they have moved to another show. Because if you say NXT is as equal to Raw and SmackDown, which they kind of say a lot of the time, then it's just a kind of sideways move. I've already been watching them here, and now I'm watching them here.
Yeah.
Why is that any different outside of, I get to finally get them to watch the big guys, the more known people? I'm not interested in watching NXT, even if it's amazing, even if it's really good, and we know it's really good. I struggle watching the black and gold, and we know full well that was the best wrestling going,
of course,
by miles. That's why we kind of did watch it. But I want to be able to watch Raw and SmackDown, that person debut, and I go, who is this person? Tell me about them. Show me who they are.
The character needs mystery.
Or even a little bit of Royal Rumble, and they go, oh, hey, they've come up from NXT. I go, oh, this is an NXT person on the Royal Rumble. Oh, what are they going to do in the Royal Rumble? Like when Rusev did it, for example. Think Braun Strowman. Skipped NXT. We all went, who the hell's this guy? And it had an impact. If somebody from WWE's NXT debuts, you go, hey, there they are. And you don't get the same pop. You used to get a pop because it was a call-up and we were like, yes. Now they just come up really easily and that person's going to come up soon. Yeah. I genuinely don't want to watch NXT. I'm sure it's brilliant. I know it's brilliant because I do check in and I do watch it, and stuff like that. And I check out moments, I always check out Ricky Starks when he debuted and Joe Hendry when he was there and, all those things. I watched all those things for years and the women's division was mad brilliant and is still mad brilliant. And I do enjoy it. I do connect to it. But I don't want to watch it because I want to have the feeling when they turn up.
Yeah, there's that feeling of like oversaturation, and it's just, you almost want the mystery. You want to learn about the character as you see them on screen. I think that is a
because also if they don't turn up and then they aren't the same as the character. I know Triple H is a bit different, but under Vince, this person would turn up. Think the War Raiders, and they're somebody of the Viking experience. You're like, you've just ruined the thing that I really enjoyed, and that's the next problem. This is a developmental, and then they come up, and Vince goes, "You're going to be Mighty Mouse," and you're like, what? Triple H doesn't do that. He lets them come up play the same character. But if they play the same character, I've then watched them for a year, a year and a half, 2 years. And you're right, the novelty's gone outside of, they're here now. So for me, I'd love to enjoy NXT if it was equal third brand, but it's a developmental. Is it really a developmental though?
It's lost its way in that.
Are they developing a talent? They might be developing them in the WWE style, but are you telling me that Ethan Page needed developing? Are you telling me these people needed developing? Drew McIntyre went there. He was like, you were the Intercontinental Champion when you turn up. Samoa Joe. You tell me you needed developing. Yeah. Now, some people did. Finn Balor is an example, because he got there and he really struggled with the WWE style, and he struggled with the cameras and all that lot. So I get them being there to get used to the WWE-ness of it, because it's very, very machine, and you've got to make sure you're doing what you're doing, because AEW, there is no machine. And obviously, all the indies, there's no machine. But I don't have the connection when they come up. I want it to be a surprise. I want it to be a shock. I want to be like, oh my God, who's this person? I have no idea who they are, and they're seasoned, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I try my hardest to kind of not follow NXT.
I think it's nice to watch people get better as well. Like Kurt Angle, I think it's way better that he started on the main roster and grew, and you see him growing on the main roster, because then you develop an attachment to the character and the performer, and you go, wow, look how far he's come since debuting.
Maxine Dupree.
But you miss that if you go, because then you've got the audience is divided, because you've got one side of the audience that's gone, oh, this person's really good, they've got to go and be WWE champion now, and the rest of the audience is going, who's that? This?
So you're absolutely right, because
you've divided your own audience.
If you do stop watching NXT, and let's be honest, right, the NXT isn't watched, right? It's competing with AEW and Dynamite, and no one's watching Dynamite either. And we go, look, NXT have beaten AEW. Dynamite's like, yeah, with low numbers. And I know it's TV. TV ratings is the stupidest argument anyway, especially now they've moved it. Well, I say Netflix. We've got it on Netflix. Screw you, America. But they really did screw the Americans over with the Netflix deal, didn't they?
Yeah.
This is hilarious. Everyone else is going, we've got the awesome. Everyone goes, on Netflix is rubbish. In America, we're like, we've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, old shows. We're doing amazing. But like, you know what? You're 80% and my 33%. Add them together, you get 113%. And then Samoa Joe.
Spells disaster for you at Sacrifice.
I just want to, I know that if I watch NXT, I'd have fun. And I do have fun. I say I don't watch NXT. I do. But it does ruin it for me when we get the moves. It does for me. That's why it's controversial. I don't want to watch NXT. Yeah. And you are right. I don't want to watch 80%. I don't think it's as 80% as much as me, but you do. You know when you get them, like, it stopped me watching AEW. Like I've tried so hard to be an AEW positive person, and they've tried to do more storyline. Let's be honest. But their storylines have sucked. They have sucked. That's the problem. And I can't watch it because it feels like watching a movie. Yeah, I'm watching a choreographed fight in a movie.
That's what it is. I think it's quite interesting that we've both gone the modern take, because I think there's this narrative now that, we had the whole work rate error narrative. I don't think doing loads of super kicks and dives is working harder. Sure, it might hurt more, but actually you're being lazy, and it's actually taking shortcuts in terms of psychology.
It's the correct word.
It's absolutely shortcuts.
It's just build to big moves, build to dives over the top rope.
I don't care.
No, I don't either. If you all do a suicide dive, or you all do a plancher, then it doesn't mean anything. No. Like when the people were doing suicide dive before, there would be like 3 people who could do it, and that was it. But now everyone's super athletics. You're watching people who are 280 pounds doing it, so it doesn't mean as much anymore.
And here's the thing: we both very much agreed on our points, but I think we are in the minority. Hence, we both put these on controversial takes. I think there is this narrative now that wrestling's better than it ever was. In some ways, maybe, but I think in a lot of ways, no. And I don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with where we are with Triple H and what's going on in the direction.
And I'm happy there is an AEW.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I loved AEW when it came out as well.
I'm hoping it gets back there. Yeah, I'm hoping someone gets the bull by the horns, and we're going to do maybe in August around the All In time. We're going to do a pros and cons of Tony Khan. We'll do 2 episodes on it because there's been a lot of pro and a lot of cons, and I don't think they could be in the same episode. We'll just do mainly pro and then do a mainly con and another one. But you want someone to get the ball by the horns and go, no, let's sort this out and let's get this back to where we were and what we were doing before, because it will make everything better. And it made WWE better. Let's be honest, it did make them better, especially when Vince left. But there is so much more they could do. The main eventers know psychology, and that's why they're there.
Yes, and that's why they're I think they're fewer and further between now. And this is, I think, 80%. The 20% is the main event, the great matches that are like the pay-per-view matches, the ones that I go, okay, I'm actually interested in this match storyline-wise. I'll watch a CM Punk against a Drew McIntyre, which is amazing. So there are still really great wrestling matches there. They're just fewer and further between, and we've lost the ability to do a sub 10-minute match. We've lost the ability to do it.
You can do
and build it.
We literally talked about it on TNA. Our TNA review, we're literally saying it. I don't know if it's come out yet or no, but we literally talk about the idea of you can do 12 minutes. 12 minutes is fine. And you can
Perfect.
sell, you can do big moves, and you can tell a story in 12 minutes. It's absolutely fine. We seem to have forgotten the art of the 12 minutes.
And it's not about tradition. Everyone going, oh, Jim Cunnett and all these old farts are moaning about it. Yes, they're old farts, but forget that. It's not about them. It's about the psychology and the fundamentals of the match. They're there for a reason. They're there to help you.
Yeah.
They're there to get you over and to get you popular with people. You don't have to agree with everything that they say, and you can bring new things. We're not saying, never change anything, but the idea is very basic. If you keep doing a dive every single match, then it gets boring, no one cares. It's that live event mentality of them being interested in indies, where that gets a pop every time because the crowd you're doing it in front of hasn't seen you do it.
Yeah.
When it's on TV, it doesn't work.
And even if you get a pop by that crowd in the audience because they're seeing it live, because it's amazing to see someone do a dive live because you can physically see them do it. And you go, wow. When you see it on TV, there's a retrospect, isn't it? There's like, it's introspection. I've seen that already, sort of thing. If I can load up, 10 matches you've done in a row and then go, there's the dive, there's the backflip, there's the near fall. If I can literally clip that together and almost actually take 10 matches and piece together the same match, but with 10 different matches and go, look, they're identical. There is a problem.
There is a problem.
I think that's interesting. I think that we want to get rid of 113.3 reoccurring percent of wrestling.
All modern wrestling.
What I'm saying is, I want to watch No Mercy 2002.
Take me back, Sam. Take me back. I'd rather they just stick within the moves they can do. And one final point.
Should we keep just reviewing TNA?
Yeah, please, Sam.
What do you think of our controversial takes? Where do you see them? Do you want to get rid of 113.3% of wrestling? Please put in the comments your controversial takes. Please have a comment on our controversial takes. And we will see you next time on another controversial take. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, I think if we add our 10% and then we take the 70%, I think we can create a 90% narrative between the two of us. Because if we take your 20% and then if I take my 80% of effort...
But what about if we take away Anima's? Because she knows she can't beat me and she's not even going to try.
But she puts in no effort. That's her 5%. So you drag down our effort.